Hey everybody, it's Beth and
Kayla.
and we're here with another episode of Coffee Break with your Chamber Chicks, and we're so excited. Diane Fenlason is joining us today to talk to us about her photography business and how important that is. Welcome, Diane.
Thank you.
We're so glad you're here. So glad. I will say a lot of times we go, will you be on a podcast? And people are like, but Diane's like, yes, I will.
I'm excited.
So why don't you sort of start us off? Tell us a little bit about your business and about you, and tell us all the things.
Okay, well, I have been in business as a photographer since 2016, officially. I was interested in photography much before that, but business-wise, I didn't start till 2016. I did portrait photography, weddings, pets, you name it, a little of everything. I kind of started out as just, I would do everything. As time went on, and especially during the pandemic, I realized that I had a passion that I didn't know I had, and that was for small businesses. So I really started specializing in helping small businesses with their branding photography. And the reason why I did that is because, the pandemic, everything went online, and it became a necessity in order to survive. They had to step it up online and become more communicative with those potential customers, clients, and really be able to start their business before they even saw the person. So I realized that was a passion of mine, and I would get so excited when it helped to create more engagement for them and more interactions and more money.
Yeah.
We all want to make more money, more revenue. I mean, that's what we're in business for, really. We need to make that money and provide. And so, that always made me really excited. So I still do portraits. I backed off from doing weddings. I will maybe do one or two a year if I'm asked. But I'm specializing in helping professionals and small businesses.
Your photos of Cleveland's inaugural fireworks celebration were amazing.
So
you did
good.
such a good job. That's
Wow.
hard to photograph.
I practiced that for several years in other places just to kind of hone it in. But shout out to Cleveland for doing that. They're the ones that put on the fireworks. It was amazing. I mean, it was so patriotic, and I just thought it was one of the most beautiful things, and I hope they do it every single year. I will come and photograph every single year, please.
I think that's the greatest thing about living in a small town is that,
Yes.
one day the city goes, hey, what are y'all doing on Saturday? We're going to do some fireworks, and everybody shows up, right?
Yes, and
It's
that's
just amazing.
it was beautiful to see the whole community out there. It was really nice.
Great. Now Kayla has a very important question.
All right, Diane. So the podcast is called Coffee Break with the Chamber Chicks.
Yes.
So what is your go-to coffee order?
I am pretty simple with my coffee orders. I love just, I'm a little coffee snob, so I do like, local coffees and really good roasted coffees, but I will order coffee with cream and sugar and a splash of vanilla. And
Can't go wrong with that.
I love that. And if I don't do that, I usually get an iced herbal tea in the summer. So,
Fantastic.
yeah.
Very good. So you talked a lot about branding photography. Tell us how that really differs, how that's important to the business. How does that really differ from other photography?
Well, first of all, one thing that is the same that I find for me, I focus on connection a lot. That's kind of a theme throughout all of my photography. Mm-hmm. It's so important. But with regular portrait photography, the emphasis is on, the subject or the moment or the celebration, or the event. So for seniors, the focus is on their celebrating their graduation. I mean, it's really cool. With families, I'm kind of the non-poser kind of person. I find that being a mom myself, what most moms really, really want from a family photo, which they usually are the ones to organize, get it together, they want to have that memory of their family being connected and loving each other. So connection is important there. But with brand photography, it's different because you're not really focusing so much on the subjects, you're focusing on whatever their messaging is. So finding that out, that's a process that I go through and work with a business or a professional to find out what that is. And that is a process. Sometimes they got to dig down a little deeper than they have before. But once we do that, it makes it pretty clear what their message needs to be and who they need to reach. And everything then becomes that focus. So it's not just on me going, oh, I want to make sure you look like you're connecting. No, then it's connecting the message to their target audience. And I always tell people not to spray and pray with their visual marketing. Or with
we may use that and quote you. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Spray and pray. Diane Fenlason.
No, spray and
Don't
pray.
do it.
Don't. I mean,
Don't do it.
I do. I think you should always pray, but spray and pray with advertising, not good. Yeah. So just really having a defined message, and that's where branding photography is very different.
It is important. We make light, but it is important.
It is important. I just have a thing about quotation marks, so that's why we did that.
So don't spray and
She
play.
can't even think about it now. Here, I'm going to ask the next question. I've got her all messed up with, don't do it. Ask us later. We'll tell you. Come by the office, have a cup of coffee. We'll tell you why you don't do it.
There you go.
So we talked about how it's important for small businesses. Tell us about some elements or themes that you try to focus on, whether it's a service or a product. I know you have to differentiate.
Yeah.
But so I guess you're kind of like us. You kind of get to know the business first, right?
Oh, absolutely. Actually, that's the whole first phase when I go through branding with a professional or with a company or medical dental practice, any of those. The process is the same. We sit down and do a heart-to-heart on their business and analyze where they're at. Is it working? What's not working? Where they want to go? What their vision is for who they want to bring into their business. So that getting to know them, listening to them, and really being able to give feedback and put that into a format is huge. That's the starting thing. And that often takes a few weeks. Everybody's busy. Businesses are busy. And they're not used to sitting down and thinking through all that stuff. So, that part takes time. Some elements that are super important to think about are, what their brand personality is. Some businesses, because of the nature of the business, you're not going to have fun pictures and very informal pictures. It's going to be more laid back. I mean, I think of, a funeral home versus an athletic business or something, or, a kid's party business. Just totally different atmospheres. And so that personality needs to show up in their photos. And it just needs to be consistent. Which brings me to the next thing is consistency. You really, when I work with a professional or business, I'm going to be looking at all of the messaging that they want to deliver. But everything needs to look like it goes together somehow, that it tells a piece of their story or their message, but that it all is cohesive. So consistency is big. And then telling that story, when I actually work through an itinerary. That's actually how I term it.
Oh, that's a good idea.
So I show up, when I do a branding session after we've done all the planning, I have an itinerary, which is in a folder. So I have sheet protectors and the sheets in there, and that tells me exactly how much time we're spending on these shots. What do they need for this? What do they want to, what do they want to demonstrate in this photo? I mean, it's very specific to them. So they have their own itinerary of photos, and we work through those just kind of like we're going on a little trip. So everything has a purpose. But it's all going to tell the story of, maybe it'll have some behind the scenes photos. It might have some portraits in there, maybe headshots, maybe product photos, and maybe incorporation of people using their products. So there is all kinds of things that can be involved. It's really multifaceted, but it still needs to look consistent. And that's the challenge that a lot of businesses have when they don't work with somebody who's experienced with it, is they can look like a mishmash, like just somebody just threw a bunch of stuff at them and they're trying their best to stick things out there, but it doesn't truly represent who they are, or it doesn't show the high quality that they are delivering.
Yeah.
They might know that they're delivering high quality, but someone that hasn't visited their business would have no idea by looking at their social media and websites. So then, just I'm big on being authentic, and I think that, it's important to be authentic. So I always strive for that with my branding, photography with them, but at the same time, you want to be authentic, but you want them to show their best side. You want them to show them at their best. So that's what I do. I specialize in that. So if someone is working with me, they're going to look their absolute best, but they're going to look real. We're not going to make something look portrayed.
Give us 10 fingers on one hand like AI?
No, I won't do an AI job. No, I won't do any kind of AI job on my people.
If you're doing that, please stop.
I know.
Just stop.
It's really
Everyone
loud.
knows it's fake, so
Yes.
you don't look like that. I saw you in the Walmart, okay? I know what you look like.
What filters are like.
I know. I do retouching, but that's as far as I go. And then just knowing the target audience, which it's amazing how many, especially small businesses, have never defined that.
It's very important to define that.
Yeah. So that's something that I help with when I come in before we even start shooting. That's part of that introductory process of really analyzing.
This is why we like Diane.
So,
Yeah.
Because
I
we kind of
think
do the same thing.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. If you haven't listened to our pilot episode where we talked about logos, there's a lot of overlap here. We talked to Jason from Jason Hogan Design, was talking about, just like you said, if you're a funeral home, like maybe you want to go with the message that you want to convey, not
A little somber,
maybe
a little more somber.
Yes.
you gotta know what you want to do and not have, he was talking about like how you can have a simple logo or you can have a crazy logo or whatever you want to have, but it needs to be consistent. You need to be doing the same thing. And I think, especially in social media, which, in other stuff too, but especially in social media, I see people just posting because they think, oh, well, just anything is good. But anything is not good. Anything is not what we need to be putting out there. We, like you said, we want to put our best foot forward because that message that we're communicating to, whether it's the people who are already our clients or we want them to be our clients, like they're listening. So what are you telling them?
And I think that's the important thing, is how well are you listening to customers and clients? Because they might not really be ready to receive what you have to say back to them if they don't feel that your care and concern is for them. And so one of the ways that demonstrates that is, building trust just through your visuals. That does that. I can't tell you how many businesses that I will see and scroll through, and they're using stock images. It's not them. And so
I hate that.
I know.
hate that.
It's like you just don't know what you're going to get. And so you may show up.
And I feel like you lose credibility. Like, I don't know if there's
Yeah.
any actual scientific base to that, but I feel
Yes.
like I trust a business more when I see, oh, I recognize that employee. I saw them in there the other day.
Or that actually
Exactly.
looks like their showroom.
Right.
Or
Yes, exactly. I think there's a lot to be said about being authentic. And I think there is a lack of trust just already in the world. You don't need to build on that for your business. You want people to trust you.
All right, so another question we have for you today is, what are some opportunities that you feel like people are missing out on not having some good branded imagery? What are some opportunities that they could be leveraging better?
Well, I think one of those things is food photography. I do that too, but it pains me to see like a restaurant or a place that makes food, and they're probably put, especially when it's a homemade kind of thing. And I'm not talking about an industrial chain restaurant or
This is
something.
Applebee's.
Yeah, I'm talking about home cooking and
Mom and pop.
exactly. I mean, above all places, they should have some really good photos of their food because they pour a lot of love into it. And, you don't want to treat something that you've poured a lot of love into like it's discarded after that. You want people to see it for what you've made it. And so that's something that I see a lot of missed opportunities to connect with people that, oh man, I'm hungry. I think I want to go out. I don't want to cook tonight. And they might look really quick and browse for what's good. And if they don't see something good on your website or social media that looks appetizing, they'll skip and go to another place, And so that's one area. But another area is businesses where, you are the face of your business. I always say that. It doesn't matter if you consider yourself behind the scenes or you just do, like a service industry, like HVAC or plumbing or something. A lot of those gentlemen and ladies don't really want to be, front and center in the spotlight. I find like they're just kind of, their love language is like service, right? Acts of service. So they're kind of like more behind the scenes anyway, but they're the face of their business. And one thing that I've always told people, especially these types of businesses, men traditionally are the ones that they think are ordering them to come to the house and do the business. That's not the case. 92 to 98% of the time, and that's because you get different varying numbers, but it's really high. Most of the time, even if there's a man in the house, it's the woman who's making the calls to have somebody come to the house and fix things. So if me as a mom is going to make a call, if I'm going to make a call for a plumber to come fix some pipes that are leaking, I want to know who I'm talking to. I really don't want someone coming to the door with my kids in the house that I don't recognize and I don't know for sure. Can I trust them in my house? So be the face of your business and utilize that. That's to your advantage as a business owner because you'll connect with people and you've got to connect.
And our last question. We know that you're new to our chamber family, and we're so glad to have you.
Thank you.
But tell me some ways, and the other businesses, but tell us how you've used the chamber's connections or advice or anything to leverage growth for your business.
Well, I am newer to the area. I moved from Montana about 1.5 years ago with my family. And so even though I was established as a photographer there, I had to reestablish myself in a new place where I didn't know anybody. And after getting licensed here in Georgia and doing all the paperwork, I walked into this office and felt so welcomed here. And I didn't feel, I didn't feel like I was an outsider and okay. I just felt very welcomed. I'm not. I'm part of it. And I love this community. And I'm enjoying being here. But getting to know other people around the community was a little bit more of a challenge before joining the chamber. So after joining the chamber, you two wonderful ladies kind of started making connections for me, and just showing up to the ribbon cuttings are a really key element, I think, too, to that.
I think ribbon cuttings are an underutilized way to network.
Yeah.
It's a great way to spend a little time and network. That's a good
and it's not a place where I feel like, okay, I can advertise my business. It's just, but meeting people, getting to see who they are, relationship building is important for me right now. But I've also gotten to sit with a few business owners here in White County, and they're interested in really connecting better with customers through their visuals. So we're going to be working hopefully soon on some branding for them. So thank you, ladies.
Good. No, we love it. We love the great success story, and it's good for everybody when the businesses look good. So, Diane, thank you for joining us for our crazy little podcast, and thank y'all for listening to us today. Your favorite chamber chicks.
It's us. We're your favorites.
Doing our best park and rec.
If you know us, you know the TV show sitcoms that we love, and that is high on the list. So,
1 or 2. So join us next time for our next episode of Coffee Talk. Not Coffee Talk. What? Oh my gosh.
You're fired.
I know. All right. Coffee break. See, I had a little SNL moment right there. Coffee break with the Chamber Chicks. Thanks, y'all.
Bye.
Bye.